Hi, welcome. It's 11/11 on March 1st, and we're doing Self-Love Part 2 intuitive reading, and the Part 2 spread is called the Heart-Centered Healing Spread. So when I really felt into this might be for the extended. I thought, well, let's see, that's my solace article. Solace? Is it solace? Solace. I'm seeking solace, yeah. But what really came through was to use the infinite wisdom of the chakras oracle cards for the overall, clarified by the, what's this one called? I don't use it much. It's called Buddha Wisdom Shakti Power. And they have little messages. We won't read a whole thing on it. It just maybe pairs nicely because this is like, and there's a podcast like Ayurvedic and from the Indian culture, like maybe that kind of vibe was coming through. And also I watched an old podcast this morning on Vedic astrology. So something from that region of the world, that energy is coming through. And then we're going to use just the classic tarot deck because I love it. And clarified by, if we're going to get to clarifications in this reading, we'll do that with the Light Seers Tarot. So I'm going to move out of this somewhere over here. And let's get started. So hopefully you've watched part 1. I'll link to that below. And then if we do get to an extended, that link will be below. And so let's just see what message Spirit has for us in terms of still cultivating our self-love. This is a 3-part journey, 3-part series on self-love and just seeing what can be revealed to us that might resonate with where have we maybe, what have been some barriers to self-love, and where can we step into it, reach into it, dig deeper into it, so that we fill this whole idea of filling our cup first so we can pour out to others keeps coming up for me. And yeah, we've got to fill our cup, got to fill ourselves full of love first. So Spirit, what message would be a nice overall energy for this self-love part 2? Lion, courage. Be courageous and see the power in the world. It's kind of funny. I was thinking about the lion. I don't know why I was thinking about the lion. Probably because I was thinking about Leo energy sometime this morning. I don't know. Time's weird. That's funny. Number 19. Here we go. Be courageous and see your power in the world. The mighty lion is a symbol of the sun and the precious metal gold, as well as the feminine aspect of power. It is the second largest member of the cat family and thrives in a natural habitat of the jungles and savannas of Africa. When we think about a lion, we think about great power and courage. The lion is fierce and dangerous, but ironically, they can be passive and non-confrontational. The lion relies on its stealth, size, and roar to keep enemies at bay. We might see this comically portrayed in the cowardly lion of the Wizard of Oz, who discovered in the end that his power was born from courage and commitment to himself and to his family and friends. His family of friends. In the natural world, the young lions are akin to the rising sun. This is the energy of solar plexus chakra as well. We all have that light within us and are asked to be that light in the world. The lion shows us the perfect balance between force and stillness, the solar plexus chakra. Which is interesting because, okay, I'll just keep reading. And that, I better say it now because I'll forget. So the solar plexus, you think of like root, sacral, solar plexus, and then it leads into heart, throat, third eye, crown chakras. Well, if you have a block, if any of us have a blockage lower down, it's harder for that energy to travel up and get lighter and lighter and lighter and higher vibration energy. So it's kind of like the hierarchy of needs. Like we've got to heal stuff in the root, and then the soul, and then we're able to open up into the sacral. So root is like belonging and family, and sacral is like creativity and passion. And then the solar plexus is that willpower, that courage, that drive in the world. Like, look at me, And then if we've got a blockage there, only then We've got to heal it so we can move up into the heart space of self-love. And that there's something about maybe this courage, this boldness, that we're healing something there so we can expand up into the heart chakra for self-love. The lion saunters in to remind you of your inner strength and courage. The world is challenging us all the time to remember our own importance and strength in adversity. You may now be facing a test of strength and will, and you are being assured that you have all the attributes needed to face this test. If you need to feel more courageous, see yourself as the lion and roar. Sometimes we need to adopt these traits and try them out. The more faith you put into this process, the stronger you will feel doing it. Choose wisely what you want to fight for and what is not worth the fight. It is the challenge of a test of will and ego, or is it a test of commitment and standing up for what you believe in? The ego is our protective force that must be kept in check. If you find yourself operating from the ego, then remember to check in with what is pride and what you really value and hold dear. Be filled with your own sense of purpose and will. It will take you where you need to go. The power statement says, may my courage be infused with humility and grace. Oh, I love that. Because that's power from a very healthy, loving place. Humility and grace. Is that where that feeds your power versus from a place of fear and attack. So I really love that message. Where are these? Right here. And then let's pair that with the Buddha wisdom and see what might help just bring some more richness to that message, perhaps. Of course, this would come up for the self-love reading. Love is the most powerful force of all. This is the red Dakini who dances in white Mahakala's heart. So this deck is about a lot of the gods and goddesses in Buddhist theology. And love is the most powerful force of all. I love that we got, because they're all over. They're not all love messages. Very few are. And this is probably the biggest love message we have. So I love that that's paired with courage, like the lion, courage, power. And it says, but love is the most powerful force of all. So with humility and grace is where our power is going to come from. Our love power. That is beautiful. Oh, almost fell down. So now let's get into the reading where, as you know, I'm using ChatGPT to give me unique creative spreads for me to do my readings in. It's like the container for the readings, which, man, sometimes I need a container. I flow everywhere, so I love a good container. Helps me, creative boundaries. Like, if I don't have any boundary, it's like the blank page. I'm like, this is like, what? I need a boundary, and then I'm like, So anyway, enough of that. Number 2, so this is the second reading. This is the heart-centered healing spread. And as I lay out the cards, I'll describe what each placement means, and then we're going to feel into these messages. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, God. Oh, God. This is exactly right. I'll explain. Oh, gosh. Okay. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, wow. Okay. The reason I'm doing it like this is we're building up to the final. This is a 7-card spread. So, oh my gosh, this came through again as the final card. That is pretty funny. Okay, can you see all this? It's like a so that's what came to me, so we're doing it. I kind of want to see what's at this is good. I wasn't gonna do I always like to do an overall. I don't know who I'm kidding here. The moon. I knew it had to be moony, because this one's about it's heart-centered healing. We're going deep. So the first one was the self-love mirror spread. It was kind of like dipping our toes into this self-love journey. And now we're going deep. And then part 3 is an even bigger spread, and we're going to like alchemize all of that and ascend. So this is our deep, probably the depths of the reading, although the beginning of the next one's probably going to be pretty deep. So anyway, all that said, the first card, where am I lacking self-love right now? This is the 10 of Swords. This is literally stabbing all these knives in the back, and I take it as usually a sign of like the self. We've done that to ourselves. There's also this blessing symbol. I think that's an Agador. I'm gonna pause. I think he needs to be let in. BRB. Okay, we're back. That was an Agador. He has the sweetest little psh, psh, psh. I don't want to bother you, but I'd really like inside now. Psh, psh, psh. So here he is. He is the most loving, and he reminds me of a lion. He's like big and fluffy, but he's gentle. So it really fits in with this whole grace, humility. Love is the most powerful force. You are all full of love. Of course he's here. So we have the 10 of Swords. But there, what I was saying is there's this blessing symbol, like he's blessing. So we're taking these, like all the harm we've done ourselves, chills, as a blessing. So where am I lacking self-love right now? We're going to clarify that. But basically, we've kind of, there's some element of like the hurt we've endured. We are going to, if not already, we're going to see it as a blessing. It's almost like that. Don't you all feel that? Where at some point you might feel it like, yeah, life's been hard, but I wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be right here where I am doing what I'm doing now, whatever that means for you, if I didn't go through all of that. And so this is that vibe of like, yeah, I'm meant to be here right now doing this, and it's a blessing. I've been through a lot of hurt, but that sun on the horizon is the healing that's coming. There's a new day ahead. I'm not quitting. Might look like I'm dead. I have 10 swords in my back, but it's a blessing and a healing moment. Like this healing is a blessing. The opportunity for healing is a blessing. I'm not just staying dead. And then we have number 2 here. What past wounds are influencing my self-worth? Well, this is interesting because this card, the 6 of Cups, is all about that nostalgic feeling. It's about the past, and it's about, it could be about so many things. But oftentimes I see this as like my past self is learning a lesson, and I'm cherishing the beauty in that lesson. See, their face is in the flowers. It's like I'm smelling it and gifting it forward to my future self. I read these people oftentimes as the same person. And so there's this past self. I'm in a big body, but I'm healing old wounds, and I'm really cherishing the gift that's coming from that healing, and I'm moving forward in time to give that gift to my present day self, to my future self. And so these just, this is such a great story. So what past wounds are influencing my self-worth? Well, these go way back. Apparently these go way back to probably early childhood, early adolescence, is what I read in the 6 of Cups. And then we have, how can I release self-judgment and negative self-talk? Well, the sun is optimism. The sun is your fullest expression of yourself. It's stepping into your authenticity. It's all of that. Agador doesn't want to bother me, but he's like, I'm done. Will you let me out? Hold on, honey. So we have, how can I release self-judgment and negative self-talk? There's some element of stepping in, like finding your truth, your authentic self, and sharing that with the people around you who you love and who love you. We don't want to hide from them anymore. There's this moon energy that's saying, shine the light into the darkness, into the depths, and emerge. And there's also this element of balancing light and dark. And so there's some where we've sort of compartmentalized. We need to bring those things together where we've compartmentalized. So it means introducing those aspects of ourselves. Or it's like if we've compartmentalized things, we wear a lot of masks, and the moon energy is kind of masky. And this is all about, like, the antidote to the moon is the sun. So it's no surprise we've got both of those happening right here. And that's how we can release self-judgment and negative self-talk. The self-judgment and negative self-talk is the compartmentalizing. Got to let it go. And then, what is something beautiful and unique about me? I love this because it is a youthful playfulness in the Two of Pentacles where you're... Okay, I gotta pause it. Okay, hold on. BRB again. Okay, we're back. Why do my cats not like a closed door? They're like, we're not having this. So, yeah. So anyway, back to this. What is something beautiful and unique about me? I feel like you're able to adjust to any situation. You can find your equilibrium in any situation. And oftentimes, if there are past hurts from childhood, that's something we've had to do. We've had to find our balance every step of the way. There's probably not so many adults helping regulate our experience. And so, again, maybe I'm speaking from my experience, but there's this element of you're able to fit into any situation, and look at all these waves, and you're balancing things, and you're like, I am infinitely able to juggle anything. Now that comes with the shadow side, but I also think that is something beautiful and unique about you, is that you can help stabilize any situation. And people, I have a feeling they may rely on you, or they trust that you're not going to be the one to fall apart first. Okay. So again, there can be a shadow side to that where it's like, oh, I've got to keep it all together. And it's like, might make you like, just like carry the heavy burdens. But I don't know if I feel that so much in this. This is something, this is the light aspect of that coming through. And that's your uniqueness, your beautiful and unique quality about yourself. And there's also a sturdiness. There's this, like, even when I fall down, I get right back up. There's this resilience you have. So even if you do get off kilter, off balance, you find you come back to your balance pretty quickly, it seems like. Okay, so how can I strengthen my self-care practice? We have the King of Wands. And I wonder if this, he's a very fiery, decisive, passionate king, and he has, when you ascend through the tarot deck, like let's say through the wands from 0 all the way up, the king is a very powerful, it reminds me so much of this lion energy. And so your self-care probably has something to do with your creativity, which is right below that solar plexus chakra. So maybe there's a need to strengthen that creative practice, that tap into your creativity to heal that, so that the solar plexus can be healed, so that we can get into the heart space. So there's something about your passions and creativity here that's what have you put down that you should maybe think about picking back up? Or if you put it down for a reason, like you just weren't passionate about it anymore, does it need to change? Do you need to, find your next most passionate thing? And there's a lot of theory about the way to find your true purpose in life is just follow your passions. I know we all say that, it's a cliche, but really follow it until it dissipates, and then follow the next thing until it's dissipate. Like follow each passion to its fullness of how you're going to express it until you get like, okay, what's next? But if it takes 5 years till that runs out, wonderful. Then pick up the next thing. If it takes 2 days, wonderful. Pick up the next thing. Keep following. It's like those breadcrumbs we've left ourselves from the other side that says, and then we're supposed to follow those to our ultimate happiness. So this is something, how can I strengthen my self-care practice is through creativity and expression of your passions. Follow those. And then number 6, how can I show myself more kindness and compassion? This is the 5 of Swords, which is, these people are all the same person right now, at least in this reading, and we have these like anxiety ridden clouds. You can tell they're all jaggedy and dark gray, and we have this ocean back here, this water source. It's like our intuition is somewhere there. We intuitively know, in this case, how to show myself more kindness and compassion. And these are the swords that I'm putting down. I'm going to stop hurting myself. I know I'm going to stop doing that. But I'm taking the swords with me that I'm learning some lessons from. You know, we've already kind of had that element here down in the base of the reading. And we're going to stop telling our old stories, because swords are of the mind. They're of like, they're storytelling. And because this is such a like anxiety ridden card, it's like I'm looking back saying like, oh, I don't like where I've been, but I'm going to take these lessons forward because I'm going somewhere much better. And so I think we're going to have to clarify this to get more specific on how, but there's some element of just stop with the old stories. Stop with maybe where you haven't felt the lion's humility and grace type of courageousness, where maybe you've been more like contracted and like attacky, like respondy, or like more like reactionary is the word. Now we're stepping into a place of like healing these energy centers to come up into the heart space and tap into humility, grace, and like love being the most powerful. Love is the most powerful force of all. And so we're going to lay down the swords that have hurt others and hurt ourselves. Like this 10, we've put all 10 swords in our back. We're treating these as lessons. So remember, or blessings. And these are the blessings or lessons we're taking forward. And I think in the extended, we'll get more specific on this. And then we have the 8 of Pentacles, which is a message from my higher self about my worth and purpose. And this card is all about doing the work. This is like, I'm purposefully doing the work in my reality, in my real world. So a message from my higher self about my worth. Your worth right now, I think it's saying like, you're going to find worth in stepping into the daily practice of your purpose. And it feels like you're going to find out what that is, if you don't know already, through your creative practices. Because honestly, when you think about it, like we were all made to be creative, to create instead of only consume. Like there's a balance there between consuming and creating. But we kind of, I think, are meant to be more like at least 1% more on the creating side versus the consuming side. Because if we all are just consume, then we shrink and contract. But if we are a little bit more creative than consuming, then there's an expansion aspect. It's just like love and fear, you know, consuming, creating. And so there's some element here that is saying you're going to move more from a lacking state, from a reactionary state, more into a loving and expansive state through your creative expression. And so that's what we have. I think I'll stop here and we'll go into the extended and really clarify. There's probably more shadow stuff we're going to clarify, and maybe some specifics of where we've been hurt-wise and how we can start to apply the medicine and move into more self-care and compassion and really heal these, like heal this solar plexus chakra where it's like, I don't feel powerful, I feel wounded. So we've got to start with our creative practice. We're going to clarify some more of this and step more into this self-love part. So that's where we've been and that's where we're going. Thanks for watching. The link to the extended will be below. The link to part 1, hopefully you've already been there and watched that by the time you get here, but you can watch them separately. That link will be below as well. And eventually the link to part 3 will be down there when it's done. Thank you for watching. Bye.